Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Ukraine Behind the Headlines. Who do we have today? Jeanine! Yay! Hi,
Hello,
Bestie.
everyone.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy you're here because it's been such a long time since we have done a stream together. Everything was before you actually went to Ukraine. So this is very cool. I want to welcome all our listeners and viewers too. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have a chance, go ahead and share out and let everybody know that we're here live. It's going to be an interesting interview. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. First and foremost, though, I would like to point everyone's attention to the top of the chat. We are doing fundraising for Jeanine. She is in Ukraine. She is volunteering. She doesn't have a source of income other than what is fundraised. We had talked about maybe her getting a job, but what happens with the volunteering is all the hours change. So she's relying on the Ukraine community to support her today, and I hope you do. So click those links and cha-ching. So also today, I want everybody to feel free to ask questions in the chat for Jeanine. Might be a lot of questions since we all know her. She started on Starsky's channel as the mercenary moderator, and then she became part of the Shills family, and she still is. So we kind of have a little format today, but we don't mind deviating if there's some great questions that we can get in between everything. The other thing is that everybody knows about the power outages that have been happening in Ukraine, and Jeanine is no exception to that. So we have a solid hour before her power is going to go out. So we're going to make the best of that, and maybe chances are someone might hit a generator in her building area. But it's possible that we might lose her after an hour. So we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. All right. So Jeanine, did you know that it's been since October of 2022 since we met?
Yes, but it feels a lot longer, honestly.
It does, because we've been through a lot together. So I can tell everybody my version of how we met. I saw Jeanine on Starsky's channel, and then when Starsky came over to the Shills, Jeanine was in the chat, and then we just decided to connect together on Discord, and then it was probably more than friends. We became almost like sisters, I think. So
Definitely.
So Jeanine, a lot of our viewers have seen the original streams that we did, you and me, and then on Rick, the Ukrainian's channel. But I'd like to start, for the people that haven't heard your story, about what you thought when the invasion of 2022 happened, especially in the context of you being from South Africa.
Well, it hit close to home in the sense that I play online games, and some of my friends are Ukrainians that I played with, so it affected them and affected our gameplay, and that's how it affected me in the beginning. And then I just decided to get involved and try to help as best I can.
So can you tell everybody how you got started on Starsky's channel?
Well, when the invasion started, I was looking for bloggers or YouTubers from Ukraine that spoke English to get firsthand information from them, because I already saw through the media and all the crap that they were selling, and I didn't buy it. So I found Starsky's channel, and then I started watching him, and I don't know, I can't even remember how we connected, but we became friends, and then he asked me to mod for him, and the rest is history.
And what a great history it is. So this is my question, which I'm always curious to get people's response to this. Starsky's channel, very serious about the war. He has a really hilarious, funny side with all his shorts, which hopefully he'll bring those back soon. Everyone loves those. But two different channels, very serious war correspondent, communications officer, all of that. And then he's on the Shills. And obviously, we like to have a little fun here. We don't take everything seriously. We know the war is serious. What did you think about our channel going from his to ours when you saw our channel?
It was really strange in the beginning, before I got to know everyone.
Yeah, that's true. Takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, definitely.
So what happened, on the Shills end, for everybody who doesn't know, the channel went through changes with the Ukraine war coverage and things like that. And we went through some team changes. And because Jeanine and I were already talking, I'm like, I need some help on the team. And that's how Jeanine actually started moderating for us and being a solid team member. And it was just the two of us for a long time. And wow, she earns that title, mercenary mod. She is so good. It took 4 people to replace you.
Wow.
So now let's jump ahead a little. Well, actually, I'd like you to tell the viewers about you being from South Africa and South Africa being pretty much meshed with Russia and what that means for you and how you feel about that.
Well, for the South Africans that don't know the history between the Soviet Union and Russia and everything and Ukraine, they think that, look, when apartheid was still in South Africa, the fighters called, I think, Nkonto Isizwe was trained by Ukraine to fight the apartheid regime in those years. So they think it's Russia that trained them, which is really not the truth at all. So that's why the government and all the Russian, I need a good word for this, all the Russian supporters decided to support Russia, and they don't really know their own history, which is insane if you think about it.
Just accepting that they're coming in and not going to do horrible things to the country. One question I had was, I remember way back when they were talking about helping South Africa with their power grid and taking over the power. Where's that now? Or did that ever happen, or is it happening?
I don't know, honestly. I haven't heard anything again from that. I think he's too busy waging wars and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back. Let's start in on your volunteering again. How did you, what was your thought process and thinking when you started seeing volunteer opportunities, looking for opportunities? What was your mindset then?
Well, I told Starsky in 2022 that I want to come to Ukraine to volunteer, and he's like, no, don't come, it's too dangerous, you gotta wait. And it was in the back of my head all that time, and I don't really remember how it happened, but on Twitter I saw a post from Chef. It was in my recommended feed, or the For You page that they call it. So I saw what he was doing, and I reached out to him and asked him, do you need more people? And he was like, yes, we need more people. And I told him that I don't have any experience in the kitchen. And he's like, that's perfect, because then we can train you the way we do our things and won't clash with old habits, as he said. So that's how it happened. So, and then the visa process started and all that other goodies.
So Chef responded to you personally?
Yeah.
that's wonderful, because a lot of organizations have representatives, and it's nice to hear it right from the founder, from the source. What were your impressions of him when you first met him on social media?
He was really cool. He still is.
He does seem like a cool guy. I've
Yeah.
been trying to, for the audience, I've been trying to, I told Jeanine, please ask him to just, be on the stream in the future so we can talk to him. But he's a very busy guy, and he shoulders a responsibility for everybody, doesn't he, Jeanine?
Yes, he does.
How does he feel like, what in your mind, what's the sense of responsibility as somebody he's a restaurant owner, but he shifted over to supporting the frontline soldiers with food? How do you think he's doing with all that responsibility and shouldering basically the safety of everybody who volunteers for him?
Well, he always makes sure that all the people that work for him in his restaurants and volunteers are safe, and he makes sure that we have everything we need, like a roof over our heads and all of that things. And but it takes a toll on people. I mean, I think we all aged like 10 years since everything started. So, but that's just like, it's stress and war stuff and missiles flying around and things like that. So you get used to it after a while. You just keep going. You can't stop. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
You have to keep going.
We're gonna get into Jeanine's experiences as much as she can, talk about a little bit, a little down the road here. So you contacted Chef. He said you need people. He said, okay, start the process, basically, right?
Yes.
And then this is where Jeanine and I don't know if we say bonded more, but really did help each other, because I have traveled to Russia, not Ukraine, but the international visa and passport and all of that, it's a lot more unique than maybe going to an EU country. So she was trying to find embassies, you had to find the Ukrainian embassy, right? You had to know where they were. So
in South Africa, but it was fine. It was easy to find them and make an appointment, because not many people were coming to Ukraine at that stage because of the war. So I gotten a appointment for the visa quite fast, really quickly for that.
And then, oh, go ahead.
The other issue that I encountered was getting a Schengen visa to travel through the EU states to be able to cross the border into Ukraine. That's where my issue came from, because South Africa doesn't have a good passport. Our passport is really weak, so.
That was very stressful. I was with Jeanine. So tell us about, and I kind of want to go over this just because there are viewers who are going to listen to this who are thinking about going to Ukraine, and there's a lot more to it. So, as much as you can, by step, tell us where you applied first, why you applied there, as far as obviously the Ukrainian visa, but the EU countries, the money involved, and the timeline.
Yeah, when I first came to Ukraine, I applied at Romania. They weren't part of the Schengen states yet, so I got a transit visa for them, and then a 20-hour bus ride from there over the border into Ukraine to Kiev. It took me like 5 days to get from South Africa into Kiev. 5 days of traveling the first time when I came here.
I think that we were talking through and working on this for 2 months? Because I think you started like end of May, and you finally ended up in there in July. Was it July?
Yeah. I got to Ukraine on the 30th of July, and the 1st of August was my first work day as a volunteer. So
that that trip is grueling. Jeanine had a lot longer trip than I ever took, and it's people who've been to Eastern European countries have an idea of how long that trip is. You just have to plan for days. It's not a matter of hours. You count time in days. So let me see. Oh, we're doing good on time. So you got there, and then you had to start working. And this is I'm going to let Jeanine tell the story, but I'm going to prep it by what my memory says. I just remember sore feet and garlic. So can you tell us when they started training you and what you did the first day, and then basically how you felt that first week?
The first week was bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was difficult because I was still jet lagged, tired from traveling, and then I had to cut up crates and crates full of garlic, peel them. So my hands was really stink of garlic. I'll never forget that. And I also had the wrong shoes, and that affected my feet because we were standing for like 16 hours a day working. So yeah, shoes are very important in the kitchen.
I remember Jeanine, messaging me on WhatsApp and saying, "Oh my God, my feet hurt." So I was trying to think of what medications I remembered from being in Eastern Europe that was available. But didn't some of the people that your co-volunteers, didn't they help you out a little bit with some things?
Yeah, I got some. I don't know what it's called. It's some Ukrainian. I call it magic drops. It's like a ointment type of thing that I put on my feet, and it numbs it, like takes the pain away. It was like heaven. But yeah, that really helped until I was able to get to a Crocs store and buy a nice pair of Crocs. And since then, no more issues with my feet.
So tell us about that day. I don't know if I'm remembering right, but wasn't there a co-volunteer that was going to get some supplies, and he says, "Come on, Jeanine, let's go get you some shoes," or something like that?
Yeah.
So do they sell Crocs in the same area they sell potatoes, or how does that work?
No. There's literally Crocs shops in the malls and stuff. Only sell Crocs.
And how are those Crocs working out for you now?
They're perfect.
It's still the same pair after all this time?
No, I have a new pair now, but they're good.
I didn't even know. You didn't tell me. Oh, it's okay. I would expect because of all the work in the kitchen and everything. So, is there I know the first week was not fun, but you did settle in. Was the garlic peeling in your mind after you saw other people come in? Is that sort of like a rite of passage or something, that like a test, like, are you going to make it? Or
I'm not sure, because I know of people that were like, I'm not going to dox anyone, but there was a person that started in the morning, and that evening this person said, "This isn't for me," and that said person left. So some people just can't do it. They're not cut out for it. So
I remember that. And I know that person would not have probably worked out in the long run, but it's a disappointment because new people are coming in, meaning there's more people to shoulder responsibility, right? It's less takes the weight off of other people.
Yeah, that's true.
So I want to actually go back to the fundraising. Everybody, Jeanine doesn't need a lot of money to live on. a few bucks every week, just because she does have to get clothes, and like she said, she has to buy new shoes and just basically seasonal changes or things that wear out. And she has to get all her toiletries and things like that. We won't go into detail, but she is provided, her housing and things like that. But it would really be nice if people could throw in a few bucks for her and help her out. I especially want to emphasize this because Jeanine is in Ukraine. She is in the thick of this, and she is cooking every day and preparing food to help the soldiers at the front line. So it's really important that we support the people who are supporting Ukraine. So I think anybody ahead of time for donations, if you could do that for us. Let me see here. Let's talk a little bit about the Magic Food Army, just because it's so important, because Chef is helping feed the frontline soldiers. What sense of satisfaction do you get knowing that you're doing something so important?
Well, I can't really share this or share videos or pictures and things about this particular topic, but we get feedback from the soldiers, from the zero line and from the front lines where they are. They send us videos thanking us for the food and saying that they love us and they're happy, and we give them strength to keep going. So that makes all the long hours and the hard work worth it, because they appreciate us.
We don't need to talk about this because it's pretty emotional, but since you made meals that went to the front lines, but you also had some soldiers that actually came into the building where you were cooking and you served them. You've lost friends, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
And just like everybody who's in Ukraine, we hear Greg Terry talk about friends he lost, and that I can't honestly. I've being prior military, I have lost friends, but not at the rate or the sense that's happening over there. So my heart goes out to you for sure.
Thank you.
I was going to actually just ask Dick there. Let me tag him. There's a picture from Chef's website that we can share, and it's of the team that Jeanine was with. When was that photo taken, Jeanine? Was that before you went back to South Africa and then went back again?
Yeah, it's before. I think that was some of those guys aren't even with us anymore. They got mobilized, unfortunately. So, yeah.
It's a lovely photo, but bittersweet at the same time.
Yeah.
So, Dick, if you want to show that second photo, I pulled this off the website too. Jeanine, can you read some of the numbers on there just to give people an idea of the staggering amounts of food that goes out?
Yeah. 160,515 salads, 121,696 soup, 176,346 entrees, and I can't see the other one.
I think there's 147, 142, 354
Yes.
breakfasts. Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's the meals that we've sent out from May 2022 till now.
And it increases every day.
Yeah.
So, let's go back. I kind of want to go back and forth with Jeanine a little bit, because this isn't only about her volunteering. It's about her having a personal life too, and family back in South Africa, and how that balances and how it doesn't balance and how hard it can be. So earlier, correct me on the dates, but earlier this year, you had a loss in your family, and
Yes.
Can you tell us? I know it's in your heart, so you don't have to go into it. But what my point is, I want to touch on trying to go back home from Ukraine, what that takes, being home again, and then coming back. And we'll chop that up into stages here.
Okay, so my aunt passed away in January, and I was struggling to get out of Ukraine, believe it or not. But I've eventually managed to get out and get on an airplane back home to South Africa, and it was really weird and strange being in normal civilization where there's no war going on. Yeah, it was, I wouldn't say bad, but it didn't feel right to be there.
I remember we had a lot of talks about that, and in your heart you just wanted to go back. So
Yeah.
let's back up again. Tell us about what happened when you got turned away at the border. You thought you had, or you did have all of your paperwork in order, right? And you had
Yes.
your plane tickets. You took the bus to tell us about which border and what happened.
It was at the Polish border, and the guys there checked my papers, and they're like, "No, you're not going through to Poland." I was like, "But why not?" "No, you don't have the correct papers." And I was like, "But everything is here." And I even had an email from the Polish consulate here in Kyiv stating that the papers and documents I have are the correct ones to cross the border, to get on an airplane, to go home. And they refused me, so I had to travel all the way back to Kyiv. It was a mess.
And then you had to go through a whole separate process to get a transit visa, right? Tell us about what happened with that.
Yes, then I had to apply to get a transit visa through Hungary, and then change my flights and waited for the refund for the flights to buy a new plane ticket. And I had to pay for the transit visa again. I think it was 80 euros. And then I had to wait like 2 more weeks before I got it. And then I was finally able to go back home.
I remember that process, and I wasn't shocked, but I kept thinking to myself, because I've dealt with consulates before and embassies, and I was thinking they have to give you a reason why. So what was that was actually on your trip back. We'll cover that again. So you got back home. You got back to South Africa. You were with your family. Did you feel any kind of, I don't know, just to use the word specifically, PTSD from being in the war and then being at home with it, wartime, quiet, family time? How was that for you?
It was bad. One day, okay, I'm laughing about it now, but it wasn't funny that particular day. I told my mom I was going to go and take a nap because I was still tired from traveling and things. And I think I've just fallen asleep like for 20 minutes or something. And I heard this massive bang. It was the thunder, but I didn't know that because when I went to bed, it was clear skies and everything. The thunder and everything just, it got cloudy and stuff very fast. And so I actually fell off my bed because I thought there was like missiles going down and stuff. So for that split moment, I forgot that I wasn't in Ukraine anymore. So I guess you can say that I have just a teeny tiny bit of PTSD, but it's fine.
I had a lot of talks with Jeanine about that before she went, because I'm part military. I had my own experience, which I'm not going to take up time telling about that left me with some PTSD, and its noises. And I was really afraid for her because even in the military, you're basically told, yes, you can end up in combat. You are going to be in situations that are going to scare you. You're going to have to just man up as a woman. and and I was worried about her because she didn't have any of that. And I'm really happy that Chef, was keeping you guys safe, but he can't keep you safe from the sounds and the explosions and everything like that. So talking about sounds, I remember us having a chat about the drones and you saying you can hear the drones. Now I'm timelining back and forth here, but we're talking about the PTSD and the sounds. Tell us about what you felt when you heard the first bombs landing near you or being intercepted and exploded and the drone sounds.
Yeah, well, it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. I don't think you can ever get used to it. Like there's always this. You're okay, but there's this thing like, am I next? Is it gonna hit me next? You always think about that, and it's the drones, the Shahid drones. When I was visiting the brigade that I always help, and I'm not gonna say where it was, but there was Shahid drones literally flying over our heads, and they do sound like lawnmowers with wings. It's the strangest sound, but they're very, very loud. So you can at least hear them, and you know exactly where they are and where they're going to. But it was insane.
I'm just going to take a sideline here to thank Danny Carver for the super chat for $50. Danny, you've been such a huge supporter of
Danny.
Jeanine. And again, he's such a huge supporter of Ukraine, but he's been since day one. He's been part of the Jeanine team, I think. And
Yes.
UTV and Ham gifted a Shills membership. Yay! Another brother and sister or sister. So let's jump. Now you're back in South Africa and you're with your mom. It was your mom's sister, your aunt that passed. And you're dealing with being away from Ukraine. How much did you feel like you should be back there? It was your duty to be back there.
Well, when I got on the airplane in Hungary to fly back home, I already wished I was back in Ukraine. So, yeah. I didn't want to leave, but I had to go because of family things.
I think it's right, though, that you went back. And it is so hard when you're being pulled in two directions. And I don't think people realize that when you're doing something and you're so far away from home, you miss home, you still have to be involved with your family and going back. And I commend you for how you handled that. It was huge. There were two events that I remember that happened. And to me, they were probably the biggest ones. And again, balancing the volunteer work, the responsibility you put on yourself for supporting Ukraine, and then your family life. Your mom had to go through another move, didn't she?
Yeah, she had to move houses. But I was there to help her. So.
And that came on really suddenly for Jeanine. I remember the note. She was going, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what just happened," and I'm like, "Oh." But the other thing that happened was back in Ukraine. We won't talk about location, but the original kitchen that you were volunteering at.
Yeah, the Russians found it. So everyone had to be evacuated, and kitchen had to be moved to a new location, and because they were planning on bombing us or them. So yeah.
There's a video online. I can find it for everybody later where Chef was actually asking for donations and showing. He was so angry. What did you think when you saw that video of him being so angry and showing the broken walls and having to move all of that equipment? These are industrial sized kitchens, everybody. These are not a mom and pop little 2-burner stove thing. These are like giant hotel kitchens because they have to put out so much food. What did you feel like when you saw that video that he made?
I was angry, not at him, but at the situation. I mean, we literally got everything was working like a well-oiled machine, and then we had to move. It was bad.
It just got all broken.
Yeah.
But on the good side, there was nobody lost as far as the volunteers, right?
No, everyone was safe and everyone was evacuated in time. Nobody got hurt or injured or anything like that. So
I think that's a testament to Chef too. And one of the
yes,
things
definitely.
he really has a responsibility for his volunteers, and you don't have to go into detail, but I have asked you this so many times. Does he have a plan always in place when something like that happens or will happen again?
Yes, he definitely has a plan. Plan A, B, up to Z. He has many plans. He's prepared in that way. So no matter what happens, we'll all be safe.
That's good. And there aren't any guarantees, but I think that says a lot about his organization. And for the people who care and love you, who are back, at home, and me, your friend, when I hear about something happen, my heart just like goes, and I get really nervous. But knowing that he really has everybody's safety in mind really helps. We did get some more super chats in. Thank you so much. Hoof-hearted. Can't match you. Oh, at Danny Carver, but I can meet your challenge with a donation. Thank you so much. SSW Sewing. Let me see here. Let me get into the right room because I think I missed. His message is, thank you everyone for supporting Ukraine. We have the best viewers, Jeanine, don't you think?
Definitely.
From day one, I'm always just like blown away. And I'm not just saying this, guys. You hear me say it on every stream. The Ukraine community is amazing and so supportive. I love it. It's our little remote family. So
yeah, I was just about to say the viewers aren't just viewers; they're like family because it's everyone's familiar. The names, and it's people who regularly watch the shows.
And just on that topic, when you were with Stursky, he had thousands of people online, but you noticed when somebody wasn't there, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't know how, but I did. I saw it.
I'm the same way too. I see people that, a name I haven't seen for a while, and it's like, welcome back. So, again, I'm just blown away all the time about. Oh, actually, I have a message from Dick. Jeanine, do you have your access to your PayPal to see if you're getting donations, and then maybe we can recognize some of those people? And in the meantime, so I can tell you a little bit about the Magic Food Army while Jeanine is doing that. Chef does have he has a website online where you can see a lot of photos, and I would love to send him a message myself because I want to get him on and just let him know that how many people are aware of him and what he's doing and the wonderful experiences he's giving people. But what Jeanine is doing and the amount of work it is not easy. She's seen volunteers, like she mentioned one that came, did the first day, I think had to do the garlic, and she just didn't cut it. She didn't make it. And, there's been other people that have come, and Jeanine, if we can't talk about this, it's okay. But I remember when things were getting really, really heated, and Chef told you one morning something. Do you know what I'm getting at here? He said, "It's getting bad, folks. We could die. And if you want to go, go." Do you remember that day? Can you tell us how you felt?
Well, I signed up for this and I'm not leaving. That was my response.
And as her friend, I'm like, run. So, no, I want you to fulfill what you need to do. But, being selfish here. So Belle Cowart gave a super chat too. Thank you. I think this will be for all you do. Maybe I'll be able to volunteer with your organization one day, hopefully soon. And Jeanine's on Discord, and the Magic Chef Army Magic Food Army is online, and you can look him up there. So lots of resources. It's easy to find just Googling it too. There's a lot of things and a lot of wonderful photos that come up. Did you get into your PayPal?
Yes, I have 2 donations, a $20 donations from BD Clan saying thank you for your service, and then a $6.10 donation from, I don't know this person's YouTube name. I'm just going to say the surname, it's Morris.
Okay.
Good I don't enough. Want to dox anyone, but that's what I've gotten so far.
And we put your Ko-fi up there too. So and we're getting super chats, and you'll get those too. So you'll, so so you're back. You're back in. Actually, I just looked at the clock. Interrupt myself here. Jeanine's power is going to guaranteed go out in about 10 minutes, but it's still light out, so she has light. And you, Jeanine, you let us know how you're doing on battery power and things like that, and give me a heads up when we just basically have to say we can't go anymore. Okay,
cool.
All right. That the power situation just yesterday on the stream, somebody made a comment that Jeanine's used to it being from South Africa, but when you got there, you had power. You didn't have those breaks. Like it was nice, wasn't it? Where your power was always going out in South Africa, either a planned outage or somebody was digging up the cables for the copper. Yeah. Oh my God. Tell us. So I love sidelining because we have such a history, but remember when I said, oh, another planned outage, and you said no, and then you showed me a picture of the trench where they dug the cable up?
Yeah.
And those are all over your neighborhood, aren't they?
They're everywhere.
So they would replace the cable, and basically within a short amount of time it would just get dug up and stolen again.
Yeah.
I'm
the
sorry.
Worst of all, I think the police are in on it because they get a cut out of the money that the thieves get for selling these copper cables. So I think the police are in on it too.
Major corruption there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, at least in Ukraine, you know exactly who's doing it, which is not good, but at least there's, so. All right. So now let's talk about you going back and what happened with these. So you got your mom moved, you settled in, you helped her get settled in the new house. That was great. And then you had to go through the process again of the transit visa, going through the European country, and then plane, bus tickets, everything back to Kyiv. Tell us what happened when you started that process to go back.
Well, I thought I'll go through Romania because it was not easy, but it would be the easiest way to travel back to Ukraine. And they basically denied my transit visa because when I applied, they were in the transitioning period from normal country to EU country. So I applied at the wrong time for them. Then I tried Moldova and they said no as well. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to start thinking of another way to get into Ukraine without going through the EU. And I had this whole plan in my head, and a certain person told me there's no way. But anyway, so I applied for a transit visa through Hungary again, and they gave it to me without any issues. It was actually really easy. So from now on, I know how you guys feel about Viktor Orban and all these cronies and things, but at least the people that work in the government places like the embassies, they know what they're doing. So I'll go through them every time now. There's no issues.
That certain person was me. I was about ready to kick her butt over something because I wanted to kind of hear about her plans and then just be the devil's advocate about what happened. But it did work out. But you got denied, and we didn't know why you got denied. And
I still don't know why.
But I thought, did they say something about that? They thought you were going to go into the country and not leave. You not going to Ukraine.
Yeah, Moldova did.
Right.
I'm not sure about Romania. I was like, why would I stay in Moldova? There's literally nothing there for me.
Right.
So dumb.
And so you flew from South Africa to what country?
Qatar.
Then to
Hungary. I spent one night in the hotel, and then 7 a.m. the next morning, I caught my first train from Budapest to just across the border here in Ukraine, a town called Mukachiva. Then I stopped there. And then there was like 2 hours between trains. So I waited around for 2 hours, and then I took an overnight train from there, from Mukachiva to Kiev. So yeah, it was a long day.
Long trip for sure. But you weather it so well. It's for somebody who, I hope you don't mind if I tell the viewers, but prior to Jeanine doing this, she laughed. She's like, I can't believe you're going to say this. Jeanine, this is why I was afraid for her too. Jeanine had never been on a plane before. She'd never been out. She tried to get tourist travel visas to United States, different places, but I was always denied. And so I was nervous for her because usually people's first plane trip is just a puddle jumper from somewhere to the next city, maybe 300 miles away or something. But she did this. She had the courage to go to an entirely different country and through different countries. The first time you went through Turkey, right? I think the first time?
Yes.
Right. And then Qatar, and wow, that is so much traveling. And even
I've been to, I can okay, my passport doesn't show it because they don't stamp you everywhere, but I've been to Qatar, Romania, Hungary, and Istanbul.
Wow. She has an impressive passport now. Right, but you don't have the stamps. That's true, unless you go through customs. But still, that's pretty cool. And you have so much courage to do that because a lot of people it'd just be daunting. They'd be like, I can't do this. So I want to recognize a few more super chats here. We have Leslie Bow for 10 euros. She says, sent with love to Jeanine. Thank you, Leslie. And LWD Farm, $30 and says, use as you see fit, the Shills. And thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us and just being loyal viewers for Ukraine and supporting and loyal to Jeanine. She's been part of the Shills family almost as long as I have, I think, minus maybe a month or so, but not much. And she's a huge part of this channel. She was a huge help to me and the information about Ukraine. And she's so well resourced as far as knowing where to look on Telegram and Twitter, Zitter, X. So, really, really amazing how well she balances out getting her information. And I kind of want to go there now a little bit. So we know that technology is huge in this war. What do you use when you need to see the incoming missiles and the air alerts? Are you using apps on your phone? Are you messaging, Telegram? Tell us a little bit about how you stay informed going through all this.
Yeah, there's some people that literally monitor everything on Telegram. And I obviously have some inside info from other people that I can't name for obvious reasons, but they inform everyone on our little group. Listen, missiles inbound from this way. They're going from, say, from Sumy to Kiev or Kharkiv or wherever. I'm always in the know, like where the missiles are heading and things like that. The other day, actually, there was missiles and drones coming to Kiev, and they hit Belatserivka. It's around 100 kilometers from me. It's not too far, but I was still safe here where I'm at. So
that's good. That's frightening. And so my personal question to you is, I've seen the apps. I have some of them myself to know what's going on with you. And the apps that say, what type of missile, where it took off from, the time, and where it's heading. Do you feel anxiety when you see that? Or do you feel like, okay, I feel better because I know where it's going?
in the beginning, anxiety was bad, but now it's, and this is going to sound really bad, but it's part of our normal life now, which is bad. It's not supposed to be like that, but you get used to that.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I observed, and it left me a little unsettled, was as when Jeanine first got there, she was going to shelters, but it got to the point where some of the air raids lasted all day. You'd never get anything done. So where was your mindset on that?
I was like, well, whatever happens, happens. We need to get the food out and the work needs to get done. So if we get hit, then it's one of those things. I mean, at least if we died, I'm not saying anything like that, but if something bad happened, then we would have done everything to save everyone. And the one day actually there was like 2 hits very close to us. Everything like rattled and shaked. The windows were rattling and the roof. It sounded like an earthquake almost, but from the impact. But we were like, okay, let's go to the basement. Ran to the basement, waited for like half an hour. I was like, yo, we need to go check the oven. And we ran back to the kitchen, continued working. And that was normal for us.
I remember Jeanine has gotten used to it a lot. But in the early days, there was a couple of times we sat on WhatsApp and I could hear through WhatsApp, through the phone, I could hear the missiles, the explosions, whether it was being, intercepts or something landing. And I remember that day that the one hit really close to you. It was like just beyond. And then I think you sent me pictures because it did hit Telegram or the internet. And that was that like the first one where reality super set in that, wow, this is really close?
Yeah. But after that, I think I handled everything like a champ.
I think you did too. And you still do. You still do. Absolutely. Let me, I saw in the chat here the real Dave Seaman sent $10 through PayPal. A little bit of support from the Netherlands. Thank you so much. And let me check if we have some questions. You guys ask questions here for Jeanine. Let's see. Yeah, let's get some questions. And if she can't talk about it, we'll just say.
I'll just say.
Let me see here. No, we don't. We had a lot more questions when you were first going versus how it is now. So, how do you feel about like what you're going through now? Do you live hour to hour, day to day, and just take things as they come, or do you think ahead to your future and helping Ukraine when the war is finished or over, I should say, when the orcs get out?
Well, I can honestly say I'm not thinking about the future because I don't know if I have a future, honestly. The thing is, I'm taking it day by day. So I live every day as if it's my last because we don't know what can happen during the night. So yeah, I'm just living it day by day and doing things that I like and love every day. And try to help at least one person, be it if I'm not in the kitchen literally, but back across. The other day I helped a very old lady. I think she was maybe close to 90 over the road because she was literally struggling to walk. And I was like, yeah, that's my good deed for the day. And I helped her cross the street. I mean, small things like that. You don't need money to help someone cross the street. So, little things.
And I think that's a takeaway lesson for everybody that go, do the best you can during the day, help people, don't have regrets when you close your eyes because we're not promised tomorrow. Yeah, I think exactly. You're doing amazing with that attitude. So let's see. I have all this thing just for the viewers. I'm kind of going through my head because there's some things that we can't talk about. But Jeanine is in after the first location, or the location that Jeanine was in first, was bombed. Obviously, had to pick up and move, and it took time to find a different location and everything. And he decided to divide up the crew. Some people were going to go to the new location, and some people are in Kyiv. And could you tell us like the different duties of or the duty that you're doing right now? What does your day look like right now?
Well, I wake up at around 8. Then I shower, get dressed for work, go downstairs. Literally, my job is downstairs from where I am. And then I get coffee and I set up the restaurant area and stuff for work for the day. And then I wait for the deliveries and so I can do my work. So I basically roast chicken carcasses. I know this sounds weird, but there's like 400 kilos of chicken carcasses every week that I roast, and then I break them up and I package them, and they get used for broths and things.
So so the chicken carcasses are like used for bone broth. Where are those sent then? Where do those go once you get done packaging them?
Some of them get sent to the front where they get used for the soups that you saw. And the others get used in the restaurants here to generate income. They use the broth for the ramen as well. So, yeah.
So I didn't ask you this. I'm getting the impression. So that restaurant chef is using one of his own restaurants, having you do prep for the work done at the front, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So he's doing amazing work, and he's keeping the restaurant open. And is it a ramen shop that he has?
Yes.
Okay. Are all his restaurants ramen shops, or does he have different
Yes.
ones? I
there's-
love ramen, so.
And there's one coffee shop as well. The coffee shop's literally just around the corner. It's basically the same building.
What an amazing person to keep
Yeah.
all that running. Wow. I want him on. You have to have him watch the stream and just tell, hey, this crazy lady thinks you're amazing. You need to go on.
I will definitely tell him.
All right. So, you've met other streamers. We're going to back up a little bit to people you've met. So, when you first got there, you met Starsky. And just for those who haven't seen the other streams, we did talk about a little bit about that. But tell us what it was like to meet Starsky.
It was fun. It was weird seeing him in real life. I mean, we've communicated and spoken on the phone and everything like that. But literally seeing Starsky standing in front of me, it was weird. It was really strange. And then he's like, I'm going to get a tattoo today. You want to come? You want a tattoo? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I got there the night before, the 31st. I went for a tattoo. That evening, I got on the train to the front lines. My tattoo was so fresh. It was still literally still burning when I got on the train. It was bad.
And Starsky got a tattoo also,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
Which one? I think I remember which one he got, but what did he get?
He got the counter-terrorist one that was on his arm. And I think there was another one. I think it was the National Guard badge, I think. I can't remember, honestly.
All right. I'm just looking at chat. Mary Tyson asked if Jeanine, she did donate to you on your PayPal. Can you check your PayPal real quick
Sure.
and give us an update on that? I know. The next question I'm going to ask her, and I've been so busy, I haven't even gotten to see this stream yet, but she did meet Rick Ukrainian before, but she actually had gone to the Free Azov rally and met him there, and I have to look up that stream too. So, Denise, do you have an update on the PayPal?
The last donation that came through was from the real Dave Seaman.
Okay, you have...
It didn't come through yet.
Okay, it might be slow a little bit.
Yeah.
So when it refreshes, Mary, if you donated, I'm sure it'll go through. My email, I sent Jeanine an email this morning, and it took a long while for it to get through. We were both kind of nervous about her not getting that. So I think you guys are doing amazing, though, staying connected as rough as things are.
Well, we still have electricity here, so it's good.
And there's supposed to be a schedule outage. Jeanine sent me her little schedule thing off her phone, and it literally said by this time, 10, 11 minutes ago, she was supposed to be shut off. So we got lucky today. The YouTube gods are smiling on us. Just recently, a few weeks ago, you met Rick at the Free Azov rally. Can you tell us about that day? And there was something else that you went to. If you don't want to talk about it, I understand. But if you want to share with the viewers, I think they'd love to hear that.
Well, yeah. When I came back, I decided to meet up with Rick, but he's so busy with all these streams and things lately. So we arranged that I go see him on the Free Azov rally that was last Sunday. And so we went there and met up with him, just had a little chat, quick chat and things. And then when he ended the stream, we basically talked for another like 5 or 10 minutes, and then we went our separate ways. And then we went to Maidan Square, and there was a funeral there for like, I think 6 people from the Hospitaliers Brigade, because I recognized their flags. And yeah, that was kind of sad. And I also went to put a flag in the grass for one of my friends that passed away last year. I didn't have like the courage to do it, but Sunday felt right to do it, so that's when I did it.
Really tough. You know, I personally can't imagine because I've never done it, but you know, again, your courage and your strength to be there volunteering, but you get involved personally with people. You have these personal experiences, and you're a firsthand witness to the huge tragedies that happen and the political events that unfold. You know, how amazing is that for you? I mean, you've lived lifetimes of experiences, you know, in this year that you've been doing this. Yeah. We do have some questions for you. Hoofhearted says, how is the volunteer situation in Ukraine? Jeanine said many folks just can't deal with it. So are there enough to sustain the effort? And he says, such good work for you.
Well, for now, I think there's enough at our organization. I think we have enough people at the moment. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it. But as soon as, I know there's a frontline kit. They're based in Lviv. They constantly need volunteers to help with some of their projects. So if people are interested, they can go and look them up on Twitter.
Frontline Kitchen?
Yes. Okay. The guy's name is Richard Woodruff. He's from Britain. It's a British guy running everything. So, yeah.
Right. There are more than just Chef's organization working to feed the troops.
Yeah, there are many.
Mm-hmm. Another question we have from Belle Cowart. My daughter will be 16 by the time we get to Ukraine. Can she volunteer with them? She has worked in kitchens with me for years and has food safety certifications. I think the key there is 16.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know the laws about labor and things like that.
And age. I would say, Belle, go on the website and maybe use a contact form there.
Yeah, and ask.
Mm-hmm. Because I think things, well, you can tell me, but Chef has to change the organization depending on where you're at and how you can help and locations and everything like that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I can't speak for him and say, yes, she can come, and then she gets here and then Chef's like, no.
Yeah.
I'll never do that.
Yeah, it's got to leave it up to the boss. Exactly. One other question here. Jeanine, when you're not busy with work, this is from SSW Custom Sewing. Thank you for being here. When you're not busy with work, what other activities do you enjoy doing for fun? Thank you.
Wow. Well, I went to the zoo the other day. That was fun. That was really fun. Or I just go explore, just walk around for miles and miles and look at scenes and all of that. Yeah.
You've told me that you've seen some beautiful outdoors things, and tell us about the changes like during the seasons as far as, let's focus on the beauty, because you have to appreciate, you have to give your brain a break from the horrors, but tell us about some of the beauty that you've seen just by going on your walks.
Yeah, I mean, the other day we had an electrical storm here, and I was actually sitting where I'm sitting at now, and I was looking out the window, and it was so beautiful. And it's weird because I was never a person that was like interested in thunderstorms and weather and electrical storms and things, but that was so different. It's something new to experience, you know. And yeah, sometimes I can just walk down the street and I'll see a new flower that popped up now that it's spring and summer and everything. And you appreciate everything, the small things like a new bug or that you just discovered and things like that.
It's because
weird.
everything's different from South Africa, new species of trees and
Yeah.
flowers and insects and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
I think I enjoy that too. And I think that goes to that it'd be fun if you had fun, but you have to find joy in the little things because you're in a war situation and it's not like you can just, plan a trip on the weekend for 500 kilometers away. So
No.
you've got your obligations.
We also have a lot of crows here. I love crows. They're like my favorite bird. I know they're very naughty, but I love sitting outside and just watching them play around and causing havoc, and it's funny.
They're like in the United States, crows can get really big. Are they really big there?
Not really.
Okay.
They're big, but not massive.
When I travel, sometimes I see what I think are versions of animals that are in the United States and they look the same. And then I find out, well, yeah, they look the same, but completely different. Let's see. Again, I want to go back to thank you. Jeanine, do you want to check your PayPal and see if that refreshed?
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today and for liking and sharing this stream and everybody in the chat. Again, you're family to me and really appreciate you supporting the new stream. And we have some good stuff coming up. Go ahead.
Did she send it to my PayPal or the Shills PayPal?
Mary, did you send? Dick has access to the pay. I don't have access to see what comes in on the back end on Shills. Did you send that to the Shills PayPal or to Jeanine?
Because it still hasn't come through on my side.
Okay. All right. Anything else to shout out there? Any donations to shout out?
No, nothing.
Come on, people. Let's give her some to shout out here. So, Dick, can you take a look at the Shills PayPal and see if maybe something went through on our end? It's from Mary Tyson. Why Ukraine? He said, interesting that the ravens look different in Europe. They can be black and white and gray together. Yeah. So maybe we were looking at the same bird, just adapted to that region. So let's get back to food. Shills always ends up talking about food, especially when I'm the hungriest. Mary says she sent it to you, Jeanine. So let's just keep refreshing there and see. So remember when I was talking about the food and I said, you're going to start getting a lot healthier because they don't do junk food there. I mean, you can go to McDonald's, but basically you start eating healthier. What was your experience with that when you got there?
Yeah. The fast food they have here is healthy, which is weird because if you take a McDonald's burger from the US and you compare it to a Ukrainian McDonald's burger, the Ukrainian one is a lot healthier and it tastes amazing. But I don't get how they do it. Actually, it's like magic.
I think they're using better beef myself because I did witness that too, and I think they're using better beef. And I think it just has a better taste to it. Isn't that what you thought?
Yeah, and everything is so fresh. I mean, I can order a burger now and it'll be hot when it gets here, like freshly made. But the lettuce and things that are on the burger are still like crisp. They don't even, you know how lettuce gets when it's exposed to heat, it goes all limp and stuff. I really haven't figured that out yet.
Well, it's the way it's supposed to be, not a processed burger that sits under a lamp for an hour.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But so, and I think anyone's who's been to Eastern Europe, I know why Ukraine. He is in Ukraine right now, but lots of tomatoes and lots of cucumbers, right?
My favorite.
It is good. I never realized how much I liked cucumbers and fresh tomatoes until I got there. And I think it's because they are fresh grown. American tomatoes are horrible. They're tasteless, but
Yeah, and the thing is, the cucumbers actually taste like something. It's not just water.
what other kind of food do you really enjoy now that you didn't enjoy before?
Well, I have an addiction to strawberries and cherries. It's crazy. And blueberries too.
On your walks, have you seen fresh fruit trees? Have you seen fruit trees that just grow wild?
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna tell you now what the name of the tree is.
That's one thing. When I was in Eastern Europe, I was shocked because in the United States, all our fruit is grown. You might have a tree in your backyard or something, or a strawberry patch, but basically you don't walk down the street and have a bunch of fruit trees you can just pick off, and there is fresh fruit. The kids walk home from school and they don't have to go home and have a bowl of ice cream because they're snacking on peaches and cherries, and it's refreshing. It's like, oh my gosh, it tastes good.
There's a mulberry tree, just like literally, it's not even 100 meters from me, and I love it.
You go out there and you pick them and eat them?
Yeah, I do.
I don't blame you. It's fresh stuff like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of back home because when I was still a kid, we used to have silkworms and we fed them those mulberry tree leaves. And yeah, so it reminds me of home when I see those mulberries. Mm-hmm. But they're good now. They're really good now. And the thing is, the branches are very high, and I'm not the tallest person here, so I kind of struggle to get to the top ones now. But yeah, I'll figure something out. I'll take someone with me next time.
I've got some kind of berry tree in my backyard. It might be mulberries. But yeah, I was mowing the lawn the other day and I picked up and ate one. The only thing is on my tree, since we have so many birds, I have to kind of look at it and make sure they're not coated with anything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they get their berries for, I think most people know what a mulberry tree is, or any tree that has berries. It's a very quick cycle. They get they bloom, or they get their leaves, and then they get the little berries, and then they get ripe, and then they start to fall, and then it's kind of done. So you do have to take
and everything gets smeared purple.
I know, including people's cars, their paint.
Yeah.
But I know stuff gets on your shoes if you're not careful. You have to take your shoes off. You can't walk through the house with that stuff.
Yeah, it'll stain everything.
Why Ukraine said walking is like the national Ukrainian pastime.
That's true. That's true.
How nice, though. Do you see people just out strolling and walking and just taking in the...
Yeah, I see lots of people every day walking around with their dogs, and yesterday I saw people walking their cat. I was like, what? But yeah, you see a lot of things here. But people, usually around 8, 9 p.m., they start going out in hordes. They love walking around this time of night. Then it's not so hot anymore.
That's great, though. Better than sitting in on, watching TV and stuff. I mean, although that's fun, but, to get out and get some fresh air is definitely a lot healthier.
Yeah.
So
I got a $40 donation from Danny Carver. Thank you, Danny.
thank you, Danny.
Much appreciated.
And we'll keep an eye out for Mary Tyson too.
Yeah, I don't understand why hers didn't come through yet.
Might be on her end too.
Could be.
Who knows? So let me see if we have more questions here. Shayna Caldwell, who's in the Shills account. Thank you, Shayna. Don't know what I would. I just saw a message from Dick. I don't know what I'd do without you, Shayna. You're amazing. Everyone sees her in the chat, but Shayna is such a cool, wonderful, funny person. I just love having her on the team. So she has a very interesting life too. So happy she's with us. So her question to you is, do you get lonely or homesick when you're there, and how do you cope with that?
Lonely or homesick? Well, homesick, not so much. Lonely sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I remember before you were saying that there were rotations where you'd spend 2 weeks at the front and then you'd get a break for 2 weeks in a different location just to give you that mental out. Has that changed for you? Are you pretty much...
Yes.
Okay.
I'm basically staying at the place where I went for the mental break. So I'm not at the front lines. I'm based in Kyiv for now.
Do the people that are at the frontline kitchen, do they still have the same rotation where they work and then get a break?
Yeah, some do. Some do.
Mm-hmm. And
so I still get to see most of them when they rotate here. So, but chef needs me here in this kitchen. So, because if I don't do the chicken bones and things, then everything stands still, basically.
And that's for everybody, that's like kind of a promotion for, not kind of, it is a promotion for Jeanine, because it's huge responsibility and a huge role for her to basically be self-starting and keep track of everything and get it done. So, and me personally, I don't mind that you're not more towards the front. I'm going to be selfish here. So
I do actually, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, and again, because the first place got bombed, he's still setting up, right? Kind of in the process of getting everything, or is that done now in his new location?
I think it's like around 90% done now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I certainly, pray for safety for him and the crew there, and that, they don't get discovered.
Yeah, definitely.
So is your power still on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Maybe they restored something and they didn't have to go with the scheduled outage.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Let me look through here and see if we have any other questions. And let's see. We have lots of cooking things in there. So when you've seen all this different food prepared and you never worked in a kitchen before, do you see yourself down the line going, oh, I know how to make this, and being a better, let's call you a chef, later on in life?
I don't know, maybe. I'll have to think about that when the time comes.
Okay, so here's a zinger. What's your opinion of borscht? You like it? You love it?
I love it.
Okay, how's it made? How does chef have you guys make that?
Well, his recipe is different from the one that I have. Because when I went back home, I actually made it for my mom.
Oh, okay. And you like your version of it?
Yeah.
And that's what I've heard is that there's different, you can do different things with the recipe. But I only tried it once. It was not my favorite, but it was it's something that, I'm open to if the recipe's right. So tell us about the food that you discovered you didn't like. Is there any food there that you're like, oh, there's no way I'm doing this?
Um, difficult question. I would say anything to do with animal organs. I don't like that. I don't eat it, so I don't like to work with that either. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a taste, an acquired taste, like from when you're kind of growing up and everything. I think I grew up with liver, and other than that, that's it. I can't eat anything else. But organ meats are big at least what I saw. The other thing that's huge is rabbit. I didn't.
I don't eat that either. You can't eat meat.
Krolik, I think they call it. Is that? I'm not sure. I know Russian is krolik, but.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, you have a life. It's going on around you. But yeah, when because I didn't connect the word krolik with, and I kept hearing krolik, yum, yum, and it's a delicacy, but it's like, no, I'm not going to eat bunnies. No, I can't eat bunnies.
I agree. I mean, you had bunnies for pets. You can't eat those.
Yeah, and chocolate ones at Easter.
Yeah. I'll eat those, the chocolate ones, but not the real ones. No way.
So let's go back to something a little more serious with the war. You've always been an orcator, like all of us have. And now that the war has gone on for so long, can you share where your mind is at on this war, whether it's making sense to you, doesn't make sense, the atrocities? Well, I know it's a hard question, but...
Yeah, it's a difficult question to answer, but I'm going to say what I'm thinking. So, the war is bad. It's very bad, and everything that's happened so far is really bad. But it can be stopped, and it should be stopped. The sooner, the better. And the West, or the so-called West, who always uses words of escalation, and they don't want to escalate. There's nothing to escalate. Putin will never use nuclear weapons. He doesn't have the guts for that, first of all. Second of all, the moment he touches the nuclear button, to press that red button to nuke Ukraine or whoever, the whole of Russia will be nuked by the other countries. He'll never risk that. There's no way that there'll be an escalation. Just send Ukraine what they need. The weapons, the ammo, the F-16s, everything they need, and do it sooner rather than later. Why do thousands of soldiers need to lose their lives if you can prevent that? Just give us what we need. Ukraine will fight and they will get the job done.
I agree, and very well said. It seems senseless of all the delay and all the politics, because when you're there, it's so clear when you're there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's senseless.
And nothing makes sense. And it's around you. You're surrounded by it. You're inside of it, and it doesn't get any simpler than that. So I think that I wish we had the technology like teleportation. I know this sounds crazy to people. I am a little crazy, but if we had that and people could just spend 24 hours there, their mind would just change. Yeah. And I haven't been there. I can't say how your mind would change or whatever, but I've said it many times. I have been in Russia. I see how these people think. I see how their culture is. I have driven down the highways and I've seen the war memorials and I've seen how much World War II to them was yesterday. They are a fighting culture and they are a let's be proud of what we do culture, even though they don't even realize the atrocities that are going on, or they know and they just don't care. When if people the cities they were in, where every kilometer or mile you go down, you see a big concrete thing and it's got a MiG on it, or everywhere in Russia pretty much has a local park. Inside that park is a big concrete structure and on top of it's a tank or an M16 or a statue of one of their leaders or something. And it's just they are the mentality there, and this just has to be fought. You can't stop it. It just has to be fought. So I wish we had teleportation. I wish people could go to Ukraine and experience it. I will at some point. Right now, I've, kind of, Jeanine knows my situation I won't go into, but, been through a lot here. But I really think that if people just understood it's not complicated, it's not political. People are dying and people are not dying. They're just being injured and living their life as injured people so that the rest of the world can be free. It's not fair. It's not fair. And I don't get I could try to understand the mindset. I don't even want to understand those mindsets. Well, this, well, that. No. Let's just, and knowing, I think everybody in the Ukraine community now, because it's been so long, all of our viewers, whether it's we know a YouTuber or we have a friend or family that's personally involved in this, we know. So just winning hearts and minds. And I'm so grateful that Dick and Dunk gave me the opportunity to do this stream so that we can hear personally, one-on-one from people. Their experiences is so valuable. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Cat's gifted Shills membership here, and let me double check here. LWD Farm gifted, actually looks like 2 Shills memberships. So thank you for giving us another brother or sister. I appreciate that. Let me see if we have any more questions here. Again, everybody. We do have a couple of questions here. Why Ukraine? James asks, how many hours do you work most days?
Well, from around 11 till, say, around 10 p.m. at night.
A pretty long day for you.
Yeah, and that's Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
They just changed your schedule a little bit to give you a little bit of a break there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's pretty much nonstop. It's not like labor laws giving you breaks.
Yeah. So Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I work those shifts. And then Saturday, Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays, I'm basically free. So, yeah, I'm going to start looking out for something else to keep myself busy. Because I can't sit around doing nothing.
Yeah, it's hard when you're in a different place too. Tell me, like, how you feel about the language difference.
Well, I'm picking up Ukrainian real fast now. I can't speak it, but I can understand when people ask me things, which is good. So, yeah, it's starting to stick in my head, the words and the meaning and things.
And
it's
reading signs, right? Like when you go and you see a store, like I'm not sure if it's the Ukrainian apteka, the pharmacy. You see signs and you know what the stores are now, right?
Yeah. It's weird how fast you pick up things.
But it's necessary. You have to survive. And I think, it's...
Most people are very accommodating and they try to help if you're asking for directions or something. And if they don't understand English or if it's very broken English, they usually pick up their phones and just translate themselves on Google Translate, which is awesome. But yeah, it helps.
Do you feel any kind of like like a mental isolation, not speaking the language fully?
No, I don't. Most people, Ukrainians are very friendly, really, really very friendly people, and they try their best to make you feel included, depending on the situation and everything. But I don't feel like left out or excluded because of the language barrier. Not at all.
That's important. And I think that's a really good message to everybody too, that they wanted to go over and volunteer or go over during the reconstruction, something like that, that you won't be like, you'll still be a foreigner, but you won't feel like you're in a foreign land.
Yeah,
I think
but
that's huge.
the thing is, they treat foreigners really well because we don't have to be here and they know that. We are here to help them and they appreciate our help. I'm not asking them to thank me or anything, don't get me wrong, but they come up to me when I speak to someone. They can hear, oh, this is a foreigner. And they ask me where I'm from and what am I doing here. And if I say I'm a volunteer, the one lady actually started crying and she thanked me. And I felt so bad because, I mean, she probably lost a son or a husband or someone in the war already. And she's crying and thanking me. And I'm not really I'm helping, but I'm not doing as much as I wanted to do. But yeah, that actually meant a lot to me.
It is, I imagine it's always nice when people are grateful for the things that you do. What a wonderful thing, because I'm sure that, other places in the world you could help and people aren't nearly as grateful.
Yeah.
We have a super chat from Cat's Cats for $2. Thanks for helping my late dad's homeland. That's wonderful. Cataline says hi to both of us.
Hi,
Jeanine,
Dad.
glad traveling back to Ukraine worked out. Might have taken months, but so
I'm here.
we should.
I'm not going back to South Africa anytime soon. Honestly.
I love learning languages. We should, like, some of that little time, but you have to kick me. You have to say, "Hey, Annette, let's do this," because I'll find something else to fill my time. But I have a lot more free time than I used to. But I'd love to help you. I remember a lot of words that are very similar too. So,
The swing words are easy to remember. It's weird.
So Chris Lundy brings up a good point. Some people there's Ukrainian speaking Ukrainian, but there's Ukrainian speaking Russian. Can you tell the difference? Do you hear the difference? And comment on that.
Honestly, I actually don't know. Most people in the area where I live speak Ukrainian. I haven't really met any Russian-speaking Ukrainians yet in this area here. But the ones that I deal with on a daily basis or once or twice a week, like the shop next door or the grocery store down the street where they know me already, they all speak Ukrainian and I greet them in Ukrainian. They ask me how I am. I tell them I'm good. And then I go about my day. I mean, it's little things like that.
That's nice. We could do a challenge. We could start learning Ukrainian, and then we can be on the show and practice and show you what we know. But we would probably have people in the chat going, "You're doing it all wrong."
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
So
it's bad enough speaking English.
doing the other challenge. I was going to say, let's do a food challenge like the surstrumming, but it's like, nah, I don't want to
No
be
way.
doing anything like that. Not even
No.
for donations. I don't know. We'll have to think. And speaking of donations, I want to thank everybody for being being here and for liking and sharing. And part of the reason, I really wanted to catch up with Jeanine because we haven't streamed for so long from her other streams that we did earlier. And I wanted everybody to hear what she's been going through and her experiences and how much she's grown. And it's just wonderful. You're not the same person you were when I first met you. And I think that's amazing. But Jeanine, when she first started, oh, go ahead.
I hope I changed for the better.
Well, you've always been a wonderful person, the biggest heart, the most caring heart. But as far as experience and worldly, understanding what's going on there and insights for that, it's certainly a huge growth that I can see. But for those of us that have been following Jeanine's journey from the beginning, we did fundraise her trip there and fundraising along the way and helping her, with the cost because she did have to go home for the death of her aunt and go back. And I remember your original plan was, well, I'm going to try to find a job on my time off. But the whole point is her schedule would change. She wasn't always sure what day she would get off because sometimes her breaks didn't come exactly when she thought she was. And it's really hard to actually plan on a job. So we are relying on the community to help Jeanine and support her for all the good that she's doing. I can't imagine, if they took her out of her position now, cooking all those chicken parts or chicken carcasses so that it's soup broth. Soup is huge in Eastern Europe. And also that broth can be used for all sorts of things. So it's a super important job. And I want to ask the community to continue to support her for as long as she's over there helping because she's doing such an amazing work. Oh, Beatty Clan said something nice. I love when Jeanine has time to pop into chats and mod. You're like, the Shills is a happy shot of B12.
It is.
We are a great family here. Well, we have about 10 minutes left, and I'm so grateful that your power held, that our viewers held with us and stuck with us. I've asked you a lot of questions, Jeanine. Is there anything I haven't asked that you'd like the viewers to know, and a story or just a final thought from, that you'd like to tell everybody?
Well, not really a story or anything. I just want to thank the community and everyone who's been supporting me and helping me from the beginning of this journey. And keep supporting Ukraine and do whatever you can to make sure Ukraine stays in the news, and don't forget about us. That's all what I wanted to say. That's
a great message. Just always keep it top of mind. Win any hearts and minds you can with, telling people, sharing the streams, sharing everybody's streams. Rick the Ukrainian is amazing. People see that stuff behind me. I did donate to some fundraisers that he had, but the flag that he sent was such a surprise for me. And the hearts of the people that are like the streamers that are supporting. Sorry, I get a little emotional. Just an amazing, amazing group. All right, Jeanine, check your PayPal. Okay. While I pull myself together. I'm so blessed to be able to be here and doing what we do. Now someone's going to clip this. Jeanine and I actually had a talk about this. We're like, we are not going to discuss things that are going to turn us both into blithering
Especially
balls
today.
of jello. Yeah, Jeanine, I'm not going to, you can tell him if you want. Jeanine suffered a loss today.
No, it's fine.
Overnight, and yeah, and I did give her the option of saying we can postpone this. So, but again, that's a testament to her courage and her strength and everything, getting through, her personal trials and dealing with her experiences in Ukraine. So let me look and see if there's any last questions here.
No new donations either.
Okay.
Or my PayPal is just really bad. I don't know.
Well, I put your links up during the Saturday streams.
Thank you.
So, SSW Custom Sewing said, can we get Yana, Jeanine, Slavi, and Annette to do a show together? Possible. I actually did reach out to Slavi yesterday to talk to her because she did such an amazing promo for the Shills.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow. I just got... Dick knew that she was doing that, but I discovered it sort of on accident by going into the... I went into X because I was putting the link up for... I think it was Friday, and she had just posted it. It hadn't even been very long, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is wonderful of her to do that." She's got the hugest heart. I just love her. Dick just sent me a message. We do have a direct donation. $33.34. Dick, I don't have who sent this. A beer for Dick and the rest for Jeanine. Here it is from YT Apocalypse. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And again, Jeanine does pop in our chats, and Janine's site, and Jeanine, if you want to, when you're in our chats and you want to send people to your site, your community page, by all means. And I want to encourage people, just like we do all the time on our streams, we support other streamers' causes. We support, anybody that we can. Our channel, Dick and Dunk are so generous with just the amount of support that they do for people around us. But, keep her top of heart and mind, because she is working so hard. She does have her housing, and from what I understand, you do get to eat some of the food and everything like that, they can give you. But her basic things the things that we need every single day to live, she still needs all that. And it's up to us to support her for as long as it takes, so that she can do her important work for the troops at the front lines and keep them fed.
I just got a $10 donation from, I'm just going to say the first name, Michael, because I don't want to dox anyone.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. And, we have a lot. I just love our chats. AJ Lohinska, long time viewer and supporter. Hug you, sister. I made somebody else cry. Jeanine is one of the Ukraine's human angels. Army marches on its stomach. What Magic Food Army does for the warriors is one of the best things. Absolutely. All the familiar faces, I just love it. And I'm with you guys all the time, but seeing you support, this stream and everybody I have on it, is just so heartwarming. Marty says, amazing bunch of human beings, gives me the hope that the world isn't totally rotten. Yep. Yes, Jeanine?
I just want to reply to AJ Loinska's message. I understand what you said there. And thank you.
All
she
right.
wrote something in Ukrainian, so
it's
a little inside joke. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. That sounds like fun. All right. Again, we'll keep Janine's links around and, for supporting her. And What do you say, Jeanine? Should we wrap this up as another
Yeah.
well done stream? And
Well done to you. You did all the work.
oh, thank you. It's so easy with you. It's just like, I look forward to this because I'm always a little bit nervous, but I was looking forward to it because it's just so easy with you. You're just such a wonderful person. So I wish everyone could know Jeanine the way I know her. It's just such a blessing. Jeanine, all hail Jeanine, the merciless moderator. And on that note, I think we wave goodbye and thank everybody for being here. Thank you to the team, to Shayna, everybody who's around normally, BME, Crazy Cat, especially to Dick Dawson for being such a huge supporter and giving us this opportunity, and doing all the back end stuff just to make it work right. Thank you. And Dunk does all the graphics, the amazing graphics that we have at the beginning and the ending of the show. He puts all that together. This team is just mind-blowing. All right,
Yes,
Jeanine.
Thank you for having me on the Shills again. It was fun. And it was great catching up and seeing everyone in the chat. Thank you for those who send donations. It's much appreciated. And thank you all for your support. And it's been awesome.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.